Brittany Spencer here with Nexstar Network, and we are on part 3 of our 2022 project plan review, and we are on the Operational KPI tab. This is going to be the last tab that's yellow, orange, that you want to make sure that we input on a monthly basis. So up to this point, we've input your revenue and your direct cost on the individual department tabs. That was part 1's video. Part 2, we reviewed the company variance tab that has and compiles the entire company's revenue, direct cost, and has the inputs for your indirects or your overheads, and ultimately gets us our net profit. And next, part 3 here is, like I said, your operational KPI tab. And this is a really important tab, especially if we have specific departments that aren't hitting our revenue goals or budgets for the month. And this is going to tell us what happened and where did we miss the mark in terms of hitting revenue. So I want to remind you, remember back to business planning workshop and when we were reviewing that revenue formula at the first of class. And that revenue formula is call counts times conversion rate times average sale gets us our revenue goal or budget that we anticipated. So do we have enough calls? Did we convert on those calls? And did we convert those calls at the right average sale? And if something's missing in that formula, this is where we're going to find where it's missing. So I've got an example here of an HVAC service department. As you'll notice from the file that it has each month going from left to right. So we've got January, that's going to be the first month, February, March, and then it'll compile the quarter results for you as well. You'll see your budget in column C, your actuals, which is where you're going to do your inputs. Again, the file is pretty consistent in that you want to make sure that you're only putting inputs in these tan cells compared to your budget, and it's going to get you your total revenue goals. So first thing that you're going to input is you're going to input your call counts. So it does it by section. So call count and staffing. So we had a budget of doing 190 demand calls. Let's say we fell short of that by 10 calls. And system check calls, we fell short as well. Let's say we only ran 325, primarily because maybe we didn't have the staffing like we anticipated, and we only had 12 technicians. And so when we're having our conversation in our monthly review, that's going to be part of what are we doing for staffing? What are we doing to recruit? Do we have that 13th tech ready to go? And that's going to create some of the conversation and the operational improvements in our conversation for the month. All right. Then we go to your lead turnover performance. So we expected 28 demand tech turnovers or leads. And let's say we did a really nice job. We got 35 demand leads. And let's say for system checks that we ended up doing 25 on a budget of 19. So it's going to show you your actual percentage of all your calls that were lead generated or leads that turned over. So you'll see that we beat the budget for total leads. No input here. It's going to auto-calculate for you. And then we're going to start to look at demand call performance and system check call performance separate. So what is our conversion rate? What is our average sale? And it's going to show you your budgeted revenue for each demand and system check. So let's say for demand, we did a really nice job and we came in right at conversion rate where we wanted it to. And let's say that the system or average sale for demand, we ended up doing 675. And so you'll see that our total revenue, because we fell short on calls, is why we fell short on revenue, but we still ended up getting our conversion rate and average sale where we wanted to be. We just still kind of fell short a little bit on sales, $1,400. So even though we hit conversion rate and above on average sale, because we didn't have enough calls that we had budgeted, that's why we're falling short on revenue. So if we would have been able to make a bigger jump in conversion or in average sale, then yeah, we could have maybe made that up. So maybe instead of 675, if we did 685, you'll start to see we close that gap to where we're right on budget. So again, those are just different levers that we can pull to get our revenue. So, and then for system checks, let's say that your conversion rate was 30%, but we fell short on total average sale for system checks. And so our total revenue fell short 3,100 on system checks, again, primarily because we fell short 59 system check calls and we fell short on average sale. So what it's going to do is it's going to total your demand revenue and your system check revenue to get you your total revenue of 138,000 to budget. And then what is your monthly system check deferred revenue? So this is where you would input your deferred revenue, your monthly SPP revenue, separate from your system checks. This again is just going to be that deferred revenue you would input there. And let's say that we ended up doing a little bit better than budget. And so you came in a total budget with everything combined of 213 on a budget of 214. So right there to goal. So that's what you're going to input above. Now below for each department, you're also going to see two other inputs, sold hours and agreements. Now, if you don't have or don't track particular things like sold hours, you can leave this blank. For this particular company, they didn't finish and aren't using sold hours, and so they don't have a monthly goal. That comes from some inputs that we did during BPW. But if you do have sold hours, you're going to see your budgeted goal, and then you can input your actuals. So let's just say that this company's goal was 450 sold hours, and let's say their total payroll hours that were worked were 1,500. So that get us a 30% efficiency for the month. So out of all of the hours we worked, 30% of our time was actually efficient, turning a wrench, billing the customer. Now you're going to get your billable hour efficiency goal from your profit pricer. That comes directly from the profit pricer. If you have any questions on where to get that, just send me an email, connect with Shane Brown. But let's say that I know this company and they've probably got a billable hour efficiency goal of 25%. And so you'll see that they actually were more efficient than they anticipated or budgeted for. So that's sold hours. And then last, you'll see agreements. You're going to input, again, just staying in these tan cells, how many total agreements did you have as of January 1st? So let's say this company had 850. How many did you have by month end? Let's say they have 900 by month end, and they added 75. So you'll see it's going to calculate how many you lost automatically. You don't have to do that. This is not the net goal. This is how many did you end up having at the end of the month, how many did you add, and it's going to calculate how many you lost. And then what's your budgeted run rate and retention rate for agreements, and then what did you end up for this month. So that's going to be the inputs for each department. You'll see that there's some notes here. This is great. You'll see notes on each tab actually, that as if you're the accountant, CFO, bookkeeper putting this in, if you want to have notes here to be able to explain specific things, you can use this note section. And then as you scroll down, you'll see each individual department that you have and their operational KPIs. So each department has the same inputs. And as you just keep scrolling, you'll start to see, again, more departments. So that's your operational KPI tab, really, really important, especially as we start to add departments for some of my larger companies. It becomes pivotal that we have all of this input already completed. That way, as we're going quickly through the budget file, we only have an hour on these calls. So we want to make sure we have all the data to be able to make operational adjustments so that we can get you guys in the spot where we're achieving our budget more often than not. And the goal is to achieve it every single month. So hope this helps. Let me know if you have any questions. This is part 3. That concludes all of the inputs that you need to make sure that you have completed for your budget review every month. So hope this helps, and looking forward to talking with everyone soon. Bye-bye.